So I am joined here today by David Webb, who is one half of the famous Webb twins from Heidi High, and he's joining us ahead of his one-man show at the Harwich Festival. Thank you for coming in, David.
My pleasure.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Let's start off. For listeners who remember Heidi High so fondly, what first attracted you and Tony to a career in show business?
Oh, well, I think it's born into you. I mean, you just have this, it's crazy really, you just think people are going to listen to you entertaining them, but it was just something that we always sung, Tony and I always sung together. And we decided with late teens that we'd like to do it professionally. And we started off at the very, very bottom. You do amateur shows and talent contests and stuff like that. And then we were invited to go professional. And that was it. We did a summer show in Hastings, and after that we had no work in the book at all. And the producer of the show said, "Right, lads," he said, "what you have to do is go north and learn how to die." What he meant was, go and get some experience in the Northern Working Men's Clubs.
Yeah. And how was that?
Oh, tough.
Brutal, I reckon.
It was brutal at times, not always, but I remember on one occasion we were driving up to Sunderland, two little virgins from Manningtree, mostly where we lived, and we got to this club in Sunderland. Never forget it. I have got the Farmhouse Workers Club, something like that. And we got there about 6 o'clock to set the sound up, and I said to the concert secretary, he's always in charge, the man in charge was the concert secretary, and I said to him, I was looking for some kind of a bit of encouragement. He said, I said, "What are the audience like here?" And he said, "Why, he said, I've seen grown men come off that stage in tears." So we go on.
Were you a little bit nervous before you went on to that?
You do 5 spots in between the beer, the bingo, the drunks, the smoke-filled rooms, and we're done on our backsides. And the last song of the night, this chap came up to the stage and he said, "Why, you're crap."
So it gave you a bit of a thick skin.
Oh, not off.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that, obviously, because we had some good nights, but you do get the tough ones as well. But you just think, well, you have to believe in yourself. And we believed that we could go on to do better things, and soon London was calling, and we were into doing shows in the West End and stuff like that. So in cabarets in all the big hotels. So it's a progression. Yeah.
So you just built it up from there. Yeah. And so the Webb twins became a very familiar sight on British television. Did you think that that Heidi High would still be being talked about all these years later when you were doing it?
No thought about that at all. I mean, it was just for us originally, because it was a pilot. It was a couple of days' work for Tony and I, and you have no idea. But when we got into the studio, because we did our first 2 days down at Dover, the old Warner's camp, which was used, and went down to the studio, and I saw it with Simon Goodell and Paul Shane doing their studio bits and things like. I thought perhaps this might have a bit of a chance.
Yeah.
But funny that I was with Sue Pollard yesterday, and we were just talking about the same thing, that we had no idea then that it would go on, and we'd still be doing things related to it 45 years later. It's 45 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
When did that happen? It's just frightening.
And I think it's one of those. It's just people love it, don't they? It's one of those things
timeless.
that people have a real affinity to.
Absolutely.
Exactly, and it is timeless. The reruns are still going now, and I find myself whenever I flick the television over, and it's on, that the channel stays on because you can just dip in and out. I think as well. So what was it like working with people like Sue Pollard and?
Fun. It wasn't work, for goodness sake. I mean,
just all having a good laugh.
Coal miners' work.
I mean, it does come across that you all look like you're having a brilliant time.
We had fun, and the great thing about working, David Croft was the producer.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful man. The greatest privilege of my career was working for David Croft. No question about that. He'd done Dad's Army with Jimmy Perry and some other great shows, and he'd been in the army, and you could have a lot of fun with him. It was a great sense of humour. But once the red light went on, it was serious stuff.
Yeah, down to business.
Because otherwise it costs money if you start messing things up.
Yeah.
So you got on with it. But we just had so much fun.
Yeah.
And just had so many laughs, because most of us, there was some, you look at the cast, and we used to say it was split between lardy-dars, the proper actors like Simon Goodell and Shakespeare, and what they call turns, people that did show Simon told. I mean, Paul Shane was a wonderful actor when he played part of Ted Bowes in Heidi High, but he grew up the same as Tony and I in the working men's clubs because he came from the north, and so we used to laugh about our own experiences in the working men's clubs. We used to compare them and laugh about them, stuff like that. So, you know, it was just a great big family, and as I said, 45 years later, we're still those. Sadly, most of them have passed away now, but Sue Pollard, still a dear friend, and Jeffrey Holland, who played part of Spike, the apprentice comedian, we're good mates. You know, we have there's a museum in Harwich. The visit to go along if you can, because it's got a section on Heidi High. Yeah. And every year we have a Heidi High day, and Sue Pollard comes down, Jeffrey Holland comes down, and we just have a laugh with an audience, a paying audience. We just talked about our experiences, and you know, it's great fun.
Oh, fantastic! And you mentioned family there, so obviously you and your brother were identical twins working together. Yes. So what were the advantages and the challenges maybe of working together so closely?
Can't think of any challenges really. I mean, we always got on, and we had to rehearse at home, and it was just we were learning our craft together, and it was just great fun, great experience. No real challenges at all, because we're being twins are on the same wavelength, and it was an exciting time in our lives.
Your upcoming one-man show, you're looking back on your life and your career.
Yes.
So what can audiences expect from that show when they come along?
Well, hopefully a few laughs, and also kind of most will be Heidi High fans. Hopefully a lot of nostalgia, because there are clips that I can show. There's interviews with cast members, because I recorded many years ago, well, not many years ago, but some years ago, I recorded interviews with most of the cast members, because I made a documentary on the programme. So I have all these interviews. So we hear again from Paul Shane, how it started for him, dear Ruth Maddock, but sadly gone now. So there's their memories of the whole thing and how they started. Yeah. And there's a bit of singing from me, because I started off as a singer.
Amazing.
A few jokes, all clean ones, I have to say.
It's an afternoon show, isn't it?
It's an afternoon family show.
And do you have a favourite episode of Heidi High?
The favourite episode was Tell It to the Marines.
Yeah.
Because the twins were featured. The thing was that the Marines came to Maplins to do a gymnasium display. Yeah. And Ted bet the Sergeant Major that his Yellowcoats could beat these Marines in a race. Yeah. As if. And we had this race. They gave us a head start, and we actually filmed this at the assault course at Colchester Garrison. So we were doing the real thing, going over the nets, swinging on ropes. But unbeknown to the Sergeant Major, a pair of twins in the Yellowcoats, and so he didn't know that. So I started the race, ran like hell for the first half of the race, until I was worn out, and I jumped inside a big tube pipe thing where Tony was hiding. So I jumped in, and he ran out as fresh as a daisy, and then ran on and finished the course. And of course, the Yellowcoats just beat the Marines.
Thanks to the Webb twins.
And a bit of cheating.
So, looking back now, what do you think it was about Heidi High that has made it such an enduring success? Because, as we were saying, people really love it, and people really, it's one of those kind of cult things, isn't it?
The first thing you have to say, it was funny. It was a comedy show, and it was really funny. It was clean. It was a family show, so the whole family could sit down on a whatever day, Saturday, Sunday, whenever it was, sit down together, grandparents, kids all together, and just enjoy it. It was just a family show, and also, of course, it was a time when holiday camp, that kind of holiday was kind of dying out.
Yeah,
to an
just
extent.
Coming to an
end.
I know
there are still pretty successful holiday camps. Yeah. But the overseas, the Spains and Italy's and France holidays.
Yeah. It was that time when package holidays were becoming a thing.
Absolutely. But Heidi High took people back to that era.
Yeah. And I think that
innocent era
makes it almost a bit poignant as well, isn't it? That, you know, people could see that kind of time coming to an end, and it was almost a little bit emotional as people could kind of see that.
Absolutely.
You know,
it was a memory of good time.
Which cast member made you laugh the most?
Felix Bowness, who played the part of Fred Quilly the jockey. Dear, who sadly passed on. He was a dear friend, because he was apart from being a lovely character actor, he was also a comedian. Tony and I would do stage shows around the country with Felix, and everybody loved Felix. Off stage, he used to be in the army. He'd been a boxer, and suddenly you were in the rehearsal room when he wasn't working. You see him doing some shadow boxing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Or if there was cricket, he'd run it, because these rehearsal rooms in London were massive, and he'd run about 20 yards and pretend to be Bob Willis bowling a fast ball. He was just everybody loved Philly. He was just a lovely, lovely man.
And so after all these years in entertainment, what is it that you hope people can take away from your show?
Oh, just a sense of fun and enjoyment. Just, that was a damn good hour, wasn't it? Hopefully.
Yeah, and just come away sort of reminiscing and kind of feeling
absolutely
warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And one other quick question. Is there a song that you would like us to play that reminds you of being on Heidi High, or just a song that you particularly love?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, music has been my life, and there are so many. I think if you play A Wonderful World, because I've been very luckily for me, so many people don't have the luck that I have. But yeah, A Wonderful World.
Thank you so much for coming in and
My
chatting
pleasure.
about your show.
My
It's been a pleasure.